Okay, Jenet, so this next paragraph, the fourth paragraph, it begins with the very first commandment that God ever gave to Adam and Eve, and it pertained to their potential for parenthood as husband and wife. Has that commandment ever been rescinded, as far as you know? Ever?
No, we need it. I was thinking, Tyler, that there's this remarkable researcher who was looking at, out of the founder of the sociology program at Harvard, Carl Zimmerman, one of the founders, and he did this remarkable study where he looked at the rise and fall of civilizations going clear back. And as he's studying Greece and Rome, and even beginning with Babylon, and then the breakup of the Roman Empire and the rise and fall of the European nations, he looked at what is it that predicted this process of rising and falling. And it was the orientation of that culture to the nurturing and development of children within families. And it just really was striking to him, because there is something that happens to us when we are oriented towards the nurturing of children as a culture and within families. We become different. Mm-hmm. If we thought about, as you described, your weaknesses being exposed, Michael Novak will say, it's incredible how raising children exposes you to yourself, your selfishness, right? The weaknesses that you have, and how it induces growth. It really is the marriage family school. That's Sorokin, the founder, along with Carl Zimmerman, would say the marriage family school is the most democratic source of education, because it invites the greatest growth and development among those who are invested in these children that they care deeply about. And so I think as a culture, when we are oriented towards the development of children, it's a forward thinking, it's the highest in these civilizations. It was their peak of creativity and development, right? Because they're thinking of the future, they're bringing out their best. And that's when God says children are good. They are His greatest good. When you think about the glory of God, that is the great gift, is the continuation of life. And what a process, right? Nurturing them in terms of our growth and development does for us. So when we care about that, I think God says, if you really want to grow, be oriented towards the development of others. Now, sometimes that means you won't be married and have your own children. That was my life for a long time. And yet, growth and development happens when we care about the development of those around us. That's what goodness really is. So.
That is so profound. It brings to mind this word that is so alive and well in our culture and society. It's putting self first. It's self-centeredness. It's self-fulfillment, self-gratification. Everything's focused on the me. I want to be more like the Savior, who at any point in his life could have said, I'm not committing any sins. I'm not breaking any moral laws. I'm good. I don't need to suffer for all of these people who are struggling. And he could have preserved his own self-suffering from occurring, but he didn't. He turned outward. I want to be more like that, where my life becomes this idea of, Lord, how can I serve? How can I lift? How can I build? Like you're saying, with children, as we turn to that next generation and infuse life in them, it doesn't just bless them, like Jenet's saying, it changes us.
More for us than I think for them so often. Our own growth and development.
Yeah. And isn't it interesting then that very first commandment given to Adam and Eve is to facilitate exactly what all this research and data is showing, is that Adam and Eve don't get caught up in Adam and Eve. Live your life. If you want to become like your heavenly parents, well, then do what you can to follow the directions to multiply and replenish the earth as it fits different circumstances. You'll notice that commandment, based on this paragraph here, it's never been rescinded. It remains in force today.